Hey guys, welcome back to Tea and Talks. Today we went to a gorgeous coffee shop in Newcastle called Ground Floor, and we have a little bit of an obsession with that place. But I got an iced chai and they do not make an iced chai like this anywhere else. It's so good.
I got a mocha. I love mochas from that place. They make it so good.
Cheers. Cheers. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about moving out of home for the first time and how that went. I moved out of home in 2023 and I moved onto campus at Wollongong University, so I studied there for a year. I love my family and I was very distraught that I moved out. I was in tears for the first week, and
Makes
so
sense.
yeah, it does make sense. I feel like it's not talked about that it's actually sad. You know, you have lived in this home all your life and then you move out.
Yeah.
And most people were very excited to move out, and I was, but I was also very upset to leave my family, and it was very lonely at the start. You have to make friends with these roommates that you don't know, and I got there late, so they'd already made friends.
Yeah.
So it was very hard.
I'm very glad you're my roommate.
You came into a friendly...
I did.
This is like both sides. So this is moving in with a friend and what it feels like moving in with a friend, and this is moving in with no one that you know and just navigating life by yourself. Moving out as a whole experience was like a lot. Moving in for the first time.
It's very an independent thing to do.
So independent. So I moved in and I tried to make friends with these people, my roommates. I tried to make friends with my roommates, but they already established friendships. And it was really hard because I did make friends with one girl, but she kept, going back to her home because it was a lot closer than mine. And then she left. So it was them two and me. And there was a lot of tension and like bad aura dynamic. It was a lot. And I was very upset and depressed that year. It was very hard. I'm sure not every experience is the same, but I was in a new city, new home, moving out of home for the first time, new people, and it was very difficult. We've all worked on our differences now and we're all fine, but after the first year of living out of home, I moved back to my hometown, but I moved out anyways. So I moved out and then I moved out with somebody else that I didn't know, and that worked for a little bit, then it didn't. And then I got someone else, and that has worked so far. And then I got my bestie to move in.
And that was really good.
Yeah, now it's perfect because she's with me all the time, and it's so much fun, and I love it. So what was your experience moving out?
Well, I was, I was in a bit of an irritated environment, just with my mum constantly in my face, in my space. When the opportunity came to move to Adairs, I jumped at that opportunity. It was a pretty fast transaction from home to here. I didn't really get to say my goodbyes. Instead of that homesick feeling, it's kind of like a just very long extended sleepover.
I don't know, she's got the independence. She was pretty independent when you were living at home though.
I was, yes.
So it's practically the same,
Yeah.
just without mum.
We
We called all the time.
We called so often.
Yeah, so it's like we called every day anyways.
Yeah.
Now we just don't call, we just
I would
talk.
always hear her voice, so I'm used to it. I do miss my mum, but just not too much.
Okay, is moving out with your best friend worth it? Yes. Yes, it is. We've had our arguments, pretty big ones
definitely.
too.
It depends how long you've been friends. It's a decade plus.
For us.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know if that makes it easier or harder.
And before you move out, maybe do what we did to kind of make it more normalized, as like call every day or like talk every day, hear each other's voice every day, because like it's gonna be every day. You're gonna wake up, you're gonna see them right there.
You also have to make ground rules.
Yeah.
Like before we moved in, we were like, okay, what do you think about space? What do you like to do? When do you like to wake up? What's your rules? Like she used to wake me up in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was like, you cannot wake me up in the morning. Don't come in my room. And then she didn't, and we were much better off.
Yeah. And then I immediately respected that. I'm like, okay.
Because I had a whole fit one day.
Yeah.
But we've had our arguments and we do things that we don't like and we do things separately. And we literally like have banter every single day. It's not like
Yeah.
PG perfect and every now and then there's an argument. It's so normal. But everyone says moving out with your best friend either makes or breaks.
Yeah.
And so
That
far,
is going to ruin your friendship.
yeah. So far,
Yeah.
it's been a month.
Yeah.
And we're fine.
We're fine.
Besides, we have another roommate who balances it all out.
Yeah. You had worries about, oh, it will make or break our relationship because we're in each other's faces all the time.
Yeah, I was really worried.
But then, you know, you discovered my gaming addiction. And so whenever you just want to chill, you just
hand her
hand me
remote.
the controller.
Yeah, it's just like the same. You can
Yeah.
do that now.
Yeah.
But honestly, we do a lot of things together still.
Yeah.
We go and get coffee in the morning together. We go for walks together. We go to the beach together. We eat dinner together. We cook together.
Oh.
I feel like you need to understand that the first time you move out isn't going to be perfect. Like the
Yeah.
first living situation you get into isn't going to be perfect. Like for me, it's taken what, like 4 different roommates,
Yeah.
2 like actual houses of moving to get almost a perfect dynamic, you know? So like you go, oh, moving out for the first time, that's so exciting, which it is so exciting and so awesome, but don't over expect, under expect. But you might move into a place where people are so sweet and it's like perfect the first time. But I've had so many people who are now moving again because their whole living situation didn't work out, and it's just so common. And I feel like when I was going through all the mishaps, I was like, oh my gosh, it's all me. Like I can't believe this is happening. Like how unlucky could I be to like not have the perfect situation? But actually, everyone's going through it all of the time. It's literally not you.
When you first move in, because like when I moved in, like my 15 boxes were like spread out on the floor for at least a good 5 days. Just settle in. Like your life could be messy at the start, which is completely fine because you just want to like settle in and be like used to like your surroundings.
You gotta give yourself time to settle in.
Yeah.
Don't put all of your idea of how it's gonna be on the first day. It's so exciting and so
It is
scary. So scary, I get that. I was so nervous. Poppy was nervous, I remember being on the phone. She's like, a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
A lot of questions people ask me when moving out is, how did you afford it or how did you do it? It's actually not as bad as you'd think.
Yeah.
Like, you have a job and you, every week I put aside a certain amount towards rent and then a certain amount towards bills and then savings, and I always have savings just in case, you know, and I don't know, it's always worked out and it's been okay. Sometimes I've been stressed and things haven't really been great and I got really sick and I didn't work for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That was really hard. So I had to tap into savings, which wasn't great. But
Yeah, it depends where you're and how like high or demanding it is.
and everyone talks about how much rent is and everyone's like, oh, the most expensive thing is rent or bills, which is true. That is true. But it's actually not as bad as people think. Like when I tell people, they're like, oh, that's it. And I'm like, yeah. And if you're splitting it between the people that you're in the house
splitting
with,
it with people,
so much better.
way better.
Exactly. And it's just like, don't worry about it. It's like not that, it's hard and it's weird for the first time, but once you start doing it, you're like, oh wait, this is way easier.
It's hard. It's a bit like, it almost feels I know, stressful the first couple times because you're like, oh, I gotta like go from being not that money smart because like I lived under a roof, I was codependent, to being like, okay, this is like real now, I've got to be a bit more money smart.
But it really does give you independence
Definitely.
on a whole new level. Like you really grow up.
Yeah. Really get a taste of that adult life. So make sure you like have a job. You kind of want a job. I don't have a job.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you have any questions on moving out, please let us know in the comments. Happy to answer anything that I am able to answer.
Touch on.
Yeah, and we hope you have a fantastic day.